Hello everyone, my name is Queena. I am 26 years old and I belong to the land of gods, Himachal Pradesh. I am a graduate with physics, chemistry, and mathematics, and a postgraduate in physics. I have done my post graduation from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla, and I am into teaching since 2016, and I am comfortable in teaching mathematics as well as physics. Also, I have taught for competitive exams. So let us now start with the demo lecture. So in today's lecture, I will be discussing about differentiation. Okay, so let us start. Differentiation. The topic of differentiation into two parts. So one part is the concept and the other part is solving method. Solving method. So here in this lecture, we will be talking about the concept only. So once you get the concept of differentiation, this part will automatically become easy for you, right? So let us start with concept of differentiation. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide this concept part as well into two categories. There are two concepts, concept 1 and concept 2. So the concept 1 is related to variables. So let us discuss that first. Okay. So I am sure you might know the word variable and constant. A variable is something that varies with time, that is very easy to understand. Okay, you can take an example of time, let us say, or your weight that keeps on changing, and constant is something which is fixed. Okay, we can take an example of any number, let us say 500. So the value of 500 is same today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, even after 50 years or 100 years, the value will remain the same. So this is what we call a constant, right? So I think it is clear to you. And now, see, another thing is we can always write variable as a function. How we can do so? So here I'm considering any variable y and I'm defining it as a function of x. So what I say here is y is a function of x. That is, the value of y depends upon the value of x, right? So we can take an example. Let us say y is described as 3x plus 1. So here is the equation, and from this equation you can easily see that if we change the value of x, then value of y automatically changes, right? So now let us understand another thing which is again very important. So there are two kind of variables. One is dependent variable. Dependent variable, and the other one is independent variable. Independent variable. Okay. So what is the relation between the two? So see here, x is an independent variable. This means that you can always set the value of x by your own. Its value does not depend on any other factor. You can set it 1, you can set it 2, you can set it in negative also. Okay, so it is completely your choice what value you want to give to x. Okay, so if you change the value of x, the value of y will automatically change. There is no doubt about that. Okay, so here we see that y is depending upon x, right? So y becomes a dependent variable. We can take a few examples. So let us take example that we put x is equal to 2. Okay, then y becomes, from this equation, 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1. So what it is? This is 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. And also we can put another value. Let us check for x is equal to 4. So I get y is equal to 3 multiplied by 4 plus 1, which gives us 12 plus 1 is equal to 30. So this is quite easy to understand it, right? So this is why we can say that y is a dependent variable of x. And that is why I'm writing y as a function of x. Okay, so first thing that you have to keep in mind is this relation, that we can always define variables in this form. So now let us move to the next concept. Then we will compile the two concepts to understand what exactly is differentiation. So the next concept, concept number 2, is that differentiation is related to the word difference. Okay, so you can also see it is quite similar to pronouns also, right? So differentiation and difference, so these two words are quite similar to pronouns. And what is the exact connection between these two, we will see now. So differences are also of two types. One is finite difference and the other category is infinitely small difference. An example, so let us say we have two values of y. Y1 is equal to 500 and y2 is equal to 400, let us say. If I do the difference of these two, I get y1 minus y2 is equal to 500 minus 400. It becomes 100 only. So you see from here that this number 100, it is finite as compared to these two numbers. Okay, it is not very small or very big as compared to these numbers. So that is why I call these type of differences which are close to the numbers themselves as finite differences. And finite differences are represented by a special letter, that is delta. Okay, so this triangular shape that you are seeing here is known as delta, and y1 minus y2 is delta y. Now let us see what is infinitely small difference. So again, I can take example of two values of y. Y1, let us say it is equal to 10 and y2 is equal to 9.999 and so on. So if I do the difference again, y1 minus y2, it becomes, so it is 10 minus 9.999 and so on. It is, okay, it keeps going on. So these two values are very close to each other. So the difference we get is very, very small. It is something like 0.0000 and so on. And in the end, we will get a 1. So you see from here that this number is very, very small as compared to this number and this number. Okay, so these kind of differences where the difference obtained is very, very small as compared to the original numbers. is known as infinitely small differences, and we denote this kind of difference by a different letter, that is d. So if I write dy, then it means that there must be a very, very small change in the value of y. Whereas if I write delta y, then I mean that there is a finite difference in the value of y. I hope it is clear. And now let us move to the main topic. So the main topic was differentiation. Okay, differentiation. So the two concepts, if you understand well, then you can easily understand what exactly is differentiation. So the first thing was, we can write y as a function of x, and we also defined the equation. I can again write it here. So y is equal to 3x plus 1. And another concept is dy, or any variable which is written with d, represents a very, very small change in its value. Okay, so from the equation that I have written here, you see, if I make a very, very small change in the value of x, a very small change, okay, in the value of x, then should there be a very big change in the value of y? No. So if x is changing by a very small amount, then y must also change by a very small amount. So if the change in x is represented by dx, then change in y must also represented by dy. So what are these representing? Very small change in the value of x, and this is representing very small change in the value of y. So now, what is differentiation? So we represent it by something like this. So this is differentiation. What is this exactly? What does it mean? So this is dy by dx, and we call it the differentiation of y with respect to x. All right. So this is differentiation of y with respect to x, which means that we are trying to see what change in the value of y is there if we change x by a very small amount. Okay. So this is what we are trying to do in differentiation. We can also say it like a rate of change of y with respect to x. Okay, so with what rate y is changing with respect to x is known as differentiation. So this is quite easy to understand, right? So we can take many examples. So it is not also very important that it should be y and x always. It can be anything. We can take any variable. Let us say I am writing here dz divided by dt. Then how we read it? We read it like differentiation of z with respect to t. So it must mean that z is a function of t. Okay. So if t changes, then z must also change. So with change in t, what is the change in z? This is what differentiation is. I hope the concept is now clear to you. And thank you for watching the demo lecture. And also you are welcome for the trial lecture. Thank you.